What if I told you that one single video, a so-called secret tape, had the power to shake the BMF empire, leave Lil Meech exposed, and even silence the king of trolling himself, 50 Cent? Sounds like the plot of a Netflix crime drama, right? Well, buckle up. Because this isn't scripted Hollywood fiction, this is the scandal exploding across real life. And it's juicier than a Real Housewives reunion on Red Bull. Big Meech, the legend, the myth, the man who practically invented rap folklore, just dropped something that the internet swears is the smoking gun. And this leak? It didn't just rattle Lil Meech, it reportedly left 50 Cent sitting quiet for once in his life, which, let's be honest, is rarer than Kanye West agreeing with anyone. This isn't gossip. This isn't rumor. This is the kind of chaos that makes the Kardashians look like they're running a knitting club. We're talking betrayal, embarrassment, and a video that fans are calling everything from career-ending to the ultimate clapback. So grab your popcorn, because what's about to unfold isn't just messy, it's the kind of meltdown that could turn rap beef into generational war. Big Meech doesn't just make headlines. He manufactures earthquakes. For years, his name has carried a mythical weight, half street legend, half cultural icon, all wrapped in controversy. But when people thought his story had finally cooled down behind bars, he reminded the world why you never underestimate the boss. Out of nowhere, Meech let slip a so-called secret tape involving none other than his son, Lil Meech. And to make matters even more chaotic, 50 Cent, the self-proclaimed king of pettiness, got caught in the shockwave. Now, let's be clear. Lil Meech has been walking a tightrope ever since Hollywood and hip-hop adopted him as the face of the BMF TV drama. Some fans say he's carrying the torch with pride. Others think he's living off his father's empire while stumbling through controversies like their fashion accessories. But one thing is certain: the moment Big Meech hinted at having receipts, the internet leaned in like they were watching the season finale of Power. And what a leak it was. No, this wasn't some blurry "is that really him?" kind of clip. This was the kind of footage that spreads faster than a Kardashian scandal. Within minutes, hashtags exploded, timelines flooded, and every corner of the internet screamed the same thing: Lil Meech got exposed. Some swore it showed betrayal. Others whispered it revealed secrets the family wanted buried. Nobody agreed on the details, but everyone agreed on one thing: it was bad. The first reactions were pure chaos. Fans couldn't believe Big Meech would ever put his own son under the microscope. This man went from kingpin to content creator. One tweet read, another joked, "Forget Netflix, I want Big Meech to run TMZ." Within hours, clips, edits, and reaction videos were everywhere. People treated this tape like it was the Zapruder film of hip-hop, analyzing every second, slowing it down, circling freeze frames with red arrows. And then came the shocker: silence from 50 Cent. This is the same man who clowns everyone: Ja Rule, Diddy, Madonna, his own cast members, you name it. 50 will roast it. But this time, crickets. Fans noticed instantly. One post went viral saying, "If 50 ain't laughing, then it's serious." Others compared his silence to LeBron James refusing to shoot in the fourth quarter. It just didn't add up. Meanwhile, Lil Meech scrambled to respond. At first, he ignored it, hoping it would blow over. But the internet doesn't forget, and in 2025, scandals stick harder than glue. Eventually, he dropped a cryptic post about haters and fake love. But by then, it was too late. The damage was done, and the narrative was running away, faster than Blueface from child support. What made this mess even juicier was the speculation over why Big Meech would let this leak happen in the first place. Was it an accident? A warning shot? A calculated move to humble his son? Theories flew everywhere. Some fans believed it was pure strategy, Big Meech reminding everyone who really holds the crown. Others swore it was deeper, a family rift, spilling into public view. And let's be real, nothing fuels gossip like the idea of father versus son drama playing out in front of millions. The internet's sarcasm didn't help. Memes popped up overnight. One showed Big Meech holding a camcorder with the caption, Director of the Year. Another had 50 Cent looking stunned with a bubble saying, "This ain't part of the script." TikTokers turned it into a trend, reenacting father-son drama with the twist ending being a secret tape reveal. If Lil Meech thought his career was safe, the meme factory made sure to remind him otherwise, and the commentary didn't stop at jokes. Industry insiders chimed in too. Anonymous sources claimed tensions had been brewing between Meech Seoster and JRB for months, with disagreements about money, image, and the legacy of BMF. Whether or not that was true didn't matter. It sounded juicy, so it spread like wildfire. Suddenly, the narrative shifted from a leaked tape to a generational battle. Fans framed it as the ultimate test. Would Lil Meech rise above or crumble under the shadow of his father's empire? As if that weren't enough, blogs and gossip sites amplified everything tenfold. Headlines blared. Big Meech puts Lil Meech on blast with secret tape 50 Cent Maya. Even mainstream outlets picked it up, because let's face it, nothing sells clicks like family betrayal plus celebrity silence. And the more people dug into it, the more conspiracy theories piled up. Some argued 50 Cent's silence wasn't shock, it was strategy. Maybe he was waiting to weaponize the tape later, saving it for the next season of BMF. Others thought he was genuinely stunned, realizing he'd hitched his wagon to a star who might crash and burn. Either way, fans spun it like it was part of a 4D chess game, with Big Meech pulling all the strings. By the end of the first 48 hours, the scandal wasn't just about a tape. It was about pride, power, and perception. A father who built an empire, a son who inherited the spotlight, and a mogul caught in the crossfire. And the worst part, nobody knew who would come out on top. If you thought the leak itself was the headline, oh no, that was just a trailer. The real show started when the internet, celebrities, and trolls with too much free time turned the scandal into a cultural circus. It was less about what's in the tape and more about how far can the drama spiral before somebody breaks. Spoiler, very far. The first domino fell when celebrities began chiming in. Rappers, actors, even random reality stars who haven't been relevant since Vine decided this was their moment to shine. One source claimed Future texted a friend, "Man, Meech need to get control of his house before it becomes Love and Hip Hop, Federal Prison Edition." Another rumor suggested Cardi B almost tweeted about it before deleting her draft because, let's face it, the last thing she wants is Big Meech turning his gaze her way, but not everyone played cautious. Social media lit up with jokes sharper than 50 Cent's clapbacks. One viral tweet read, "This tape got more plot twists than all 6 seasons of Game of Thrones combined." Another added, "Lil Meech out here looking like he lost a family empire on a hidden GoPro." The meme economy was booming. Within hours, TikTok had entire skits reenacting the fallout, with creators dressing up as Big Meech the director and Lil Meech the exposed. And where was 50 Cent? Still radio silent, which, ironically, only made things louder. When a man known for never shutting up goes quiet, it's like watching Gordon Ramsay refuse to yell in a kitchen. Something ain't right. Fans begged him to speak, flooding his Instagram comments with things like, "Post a meme, Thief, and we need the Troll King back." The silence turned into suspense, and the suspense turned into chaos. Industry insiders started whispering about backroom drama. Allegedly, executives at Stars were in panic mode. Their golden goose, the BMF show, now had its leading man tangled in the kind of scandal you can't just write into a script. Rumors claimed meetings were held to discuss damage control. Some even suggested editing shifts for the upcoming season, because, let's be honest, it's hard to sell a heroic arc when the lead actor is trending under #exposed tape. And then came the unexpected twist: other rappers saw blood in the water and couldn't resist. Rick Ross allegedly dropped a subliminal line on Instagram stories, something about real bosses never let the empire get shaky. Translation? Shots fired. Even Boozy popped up, laughing during a live stream, saying, "Man, I told y'all." Meech JRB wasn't ready for the spotlight. Whether they meant it or not, their comments fueled the narrative. Lil Meech was cracking under pressure. Meanwhile, the fans went full detective mode. They analyzed Big Meech's prison calls, digging up old interviews where he talked about loyalty and betrayal. Suddenly, every vague statement he'd ever made was being repurposed as foreshadowing. See? He said it in 2019, he don't trust nobody, not even family. One TikTok conspiracy theorist shouted in a viral clip. Others pointed out how 50 Cent once joked about not trusting Lil Meech with the brand. Coincidence? Fans said no. By now, the scandal had evolved from a leak into a Shakespearean-level saga. Think Hamlet, but with iced-out chains and Instagram lives. Father against son. Mentor against silence. Fans against logic. Nobody cared about facts anymore, they cared about vibes, and the vibes were screaming betrayal. Memes pushed the story into overdrive. Somebody edited the BM logo to say Big Meech Films. Another viral clip showed 50 Cent's most famous troll moments, ending with the caption, "Even 50 got nothing to say about this mess." And then the TikTok audio drops started soundbites from interviews with Meech Seoster, mashed with dramatic background music, turned into trends where users lip-synced as though they were part of the scandal. For Gen Z, this wasn't just a leak. It was a new genre of entertainment. But with entertainment came outrage. Fan camps began to divide like political parties. Some defended Lil Meech, saying he didn't deserve to be humiliated by his own blood. Others sided with Big Meech, arguing that tough love was the only way to protect the empire. And hovering above it all, like a ghost at the feast, was 50 Cent, silent, watching, plotting, maybe laughing from a penthouse. His lack of words became the loudest part of the entire saga. By the end of the week, the scandal had fully escaped hip-hop Twitter. It bled into gossip shows, podcasts, even mainstream news outlets that normally don't touch rap beef unless it involves a Grammy winner. Headlines framed it as a father-son rift, but the subtext was always the same. 50 Cent looks rattled. Think about it, this is the man who made a career out of destroying rivals with jokes and petty Instagram posts. But here, with his prized BM partner, he suddenly had nothing to say. Fans speculated he was scared of crossing Big Meech, while others thought he was saving the ammunition for his next project. Either way, the silence wasn't weakness, it was fuel. And that's what made this whole thing nuclear. It wasn't just about what was in the tape. It wasn't even about who leaked it. It was about the ripple effect, celebrities reacting, fans debating, blogs exaggerating, memes multiplying, and the looming shadow of 50 Cent's next move. The drama had become bigger than the tape itself. In fact, one viral comment summed it up perfectly. This ain't about the tape. This about power. And right now, nobody knows who's holding it. So here we are. The dust hasn't even settled. Yet the fallout from Big Meech's leak is already rewriting reputations like an uninvited ghostwriter. What began as a secret tape turned into a cultural earthquake, and now the aftershocks are rattling everyone from Lil Meech's fan base to 50 Cent's empire to Big Meech's legendary status itself. First, let's talk about Lil Meech. For him, this wasn't just a PR problem, this was a credibility crisis. Overnight, he went from rising star and face of the BM show to the internet's favorite punchline. Fans weren't just watching the tape, they were rewriting his entire identity through it. Suddenly, every flex on Instagram, every chain, every tough guy caption was being mocked with, "Yeah, but what about that video?" In a culture that thrives on perception, Lil Meech's carefully built image crumbled like a sandcastle in a hurricane. And let's be real, perception is currency. In hip-hop, you can lose money and make it back. You can lose deals and sign new ones. But once the streets decide you're not what you claimed, that's an overdraft fee on your entire career. People started questioning whether Meech JRB even had the backbone to carry the legacy his father created. That legacy wasn't just heavy, it was suffocating. And now, with one leak, it looked like the empire had cracks that couldn't be patched with jewelry or TV ratings. Meanwhile, Big Meech's roll in. All this sparked a whole new debate. Was he being a protective father holding his son accountable, or was he pulling the ultimate power play from behind bars? Some fans argued he was just tired of seeing the brand diluted, tired of watching Lil Meech play celebrity, while the Original BMF name carried real-world consequences. Others saw it as betrayal. A father publicly humiliating his own blood for clout, for leverage, or maybe just because the weight of the empire demands sacrifices. Either way, the move cemented one thing: Big Meech still controls the narrative, even from a prison cell. He proved he can make the world stop and stare whenever he wants. That's not just power, that's myth building. And then there's 50 Cent. Ah yes, the self-proclaimed troll king, the internet's gladiator, the man who can turn anyone's bad day into a punchline. Except this time, silence. And the silence became deafening. People speculated endlessly. Was 50 scared of Big Meech's wrath? Was he secretly working the scandal into a storyline for the next season of BMF? Was he holding back because the tape could backfire on his brand if he made it into a joke? Nobody knew. And that was the genius or the weakness of his approach. For the first time in years, 50 Cent wasn't the one driving the scandal. He was caught in it. That's historic. The industry noticed too. Executives and rappers alike were watching closely. Some insiders whispered that Star's executives were terrified this could tank the BMF brand. Others thought it might actually boost ratings because, let's be honest, controversy sells better than ads ever could. But at what cost? If Lil Meech became a walking meme, how long before audiences stopped seeing the character and only saw the scandal? And then the fans. Oh, the fans! They took sides. They made memes. They threw gasoline on every spark. One camp argued, "This is the end of Lil Meech." Another said, "Nah, this will just make him tougher. He'll bounce back." Others didn't care about the truth at all. They just wanted more chaos. It became less about facts and more about vibes. People weren't asking, "What happened?" They were asking, "What's next?" And that's when you know a scandal has transcended reality and turned into legend. The consequences stretched beyond rap too. Podcasters and gossip blogs turned this into a moral debate. Should family dirty laundry ever be aired like this? Talk shows framed it as a cautionary tale of fame, fathers, and fractured empires. Social media philosophers popped up with takes like, "This is Shakespeare in the hood." Big Meech is King Lear. Lil Meech is the betrayed son, and 50 Cent is the fool who went silent. Over the top. Sure, but in a way, they weren't wrong. And let's not forget the collateral damage. Suddenly, everyone connected to Lil Meech. His friends, his co-stars, his collaborators were side-eyed by association. People wondered if they knew about the tape, if they warned him, if they had their own secrets waiting to drop. It created a ripple effect of paranoia. If one secret could shake the culture this much, what else is hiding in the shadows? By the time the scandal reached peak saturation, it wasn't just a hip-hop story, it was a morality play, a family feud, and a media circus rolled into one. And in the middle of it, 50 Cent's silence still hung like a guillotine. Was he waiting to speak? Was he waiting to cash in? Or was he, for once, genuinely humbled? Fans argued endlessly, but no one had answers. And that's what makes this the perfect storm. Big Meech reasserted his dominance from behind bars. Lil Meech's reputation took a hit that could define him for years. And 50 Cent, the loudest man in the room, was forced into the one role nobody expected: the silent observer. The aftermath wasn't just messy, it was historic. But here's the kicker. This doesn't feel like the end. It feels like a cliffhanger. Because in the world of hip-hop power plays, one tape doesn't destroy an empire. It just sets the stage for the next battle. Big Meech proved he still holds the crown. Lil Meech learned that fame is fragile. And 50 Cent, he's sitting on a powder keg, and when he finally opens his mouth, the explosion might make this leak look like a warm-up act. The scandal didn't close a chapter. It opened a new season. And if history tells us anything, it's that the next episode is always wilder, louder, and messier than the last. And there you have it. Folks, the scandal's so messy it made the Kardashians look like Sunday school teachers. Big Meech dropped the nuke. Lil Meech felt the blast. And 50 Cent, for once, he was left sitting there like a Wi-Fi router during a blackout, blinking, but saying nothing. This wasn't just drama. This was generational warfare served with popcorn seasoning. But now it's your turn. I want to hear from you. In the comments, is this the end of Lil Meech's shine? Or is this just a messy middle of a comeback story that'll have plot twists crazier than a Fast and Furious script? Do you think 50 Cent is playing 4D chess in silence? Or did Big Meech checkmate him from behind bars? Drop your hottest takes. Because trust me, the internet court never rests. And while you're at it, don't just like this video, smash that button like it owes you money. Hit subscribe like you're signing $1 million contract with BMF. And ring that bell so hard your neighbors think you're auditioning for a church choir. Because here at Truth Tattle, we don't just cover scandals, we light them on fire, season them with sarcasm, and serve them up fresh before the ashes cool. Remember, this isn't the last time you'll see empires shaken, egos bruised, and reputations turned into memes. Scandals don't sleep. And neither do we. Stick around, because the next secret, the next betrayal, the next tape, it's already on the way. This is Truth Tattle, signing off with one final punchline. In the game of power, loyalty, and leaked footage, the cameras never stop rolling.